Hello and welcome back to WBAM, a pop culture podcast, a pop culture Oscar cast, a pop culture Oscast,
an Academy, a podcast awards,
a Gold Derby read-along cast.
Mm-hmm. Brought to you by the little gold men that could.
Mm-hmm.
Chugging along.
Not to be confused with the little gold scoot that could.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
not that guy.
No, that
pictured behind you.
No, that guy, the Academy could never.
That was Central Florida's biggest night.
Mm-hmm.
Today is not Hollywood's biggest night for the not Academy Awards. Predicting the Oscars, folks. The 95th Oscars. The 95th Academy Awards. Locking in our picks. An annual tradition. We're here. Welcome. My name's Ernest.
My name is 95th Annual Hunter.
And I'm Drew.
95 is a big one, guys. Where were you guys 95 years ago?
Dead.
We're, I don't know. I think you had just started your watch through of every Best Picture winner.
Yeah, I was there the first night. It wasn't televised. They were giving out two awards back then in my day.
We're
Two
here.
Best Pictures.
We've arrived at the end of the awards season, at the end of our fantasy film league.
Mm-hmm. It's coming down to the wire in a way that it did not last year. Should we give like a brief update for the listeners? For
Let me.
a list that we have, a contest that we have alluded to for the last year without actually giving live updates.
We did an ep when we first drafted the picks to kind of go through what everyone had, and that was about a year ago, roughly. And now we're nearing the end. And in the lead is your wife, Gaia.
My wife.
390 points.
Of that, how much is Top Gun Maverick?
Let's see. Top Gun has 269 points. In second place is Drew with 371.25.
Most of my picks for Oscar winners are going to be women talking.
Yeah.
And she said...
You're trying to game the system.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday was a big day for you, Drew. We should tell the people that.
The women be talking.
International Women's Day. You know what I did? I didn't wish a single woman International Women's Day because I just wanted to listen to other people tell women Happy International
I wanted
Women's
to hear
Day.
them tell me that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, today the Tulkun are talking.
Oh yeah. That's who's talking on my team.
Yeah. And not with words, with subtitles.
Mm-hmm, with papyrus subtitles.
Right. And then, third place is Hunter, 371.05.
So, and we should say, I thought that I was dead in the water given that 2 of my 5 picks are
delayed,
not coming out this year.
Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon and what was the other one? Oh, Next Goal Wins.
Next Goal Wins. So really just shout out to the Pandoran people for making this happen.
And the king.
And of course, Mama. Which you honestly, if anything,
I was talking about Payakan, but yes.
Oh yeah,
Elvis.
yeah. Mama's gonna be the one that's gonna bring me across the finish line, Mama. Oh, women, why you gotta be so mean?
I really need you to show up in full getup. on Sunday.
Get ready! I'm gonna be
bedazzled.
I'm gonna be third act Elvis coming up to the Oscar. That's gonna be me at the end of the Oscar party, just like sweaty and bloated, greasy.
So yeah, that's the standings right now. It's gonna come down to the wire. We'll see what happens. I think, Hunter, you have a shot this weekend of pulling out an upset. If Elvis wins enough Oscars.
If Elvis comes through, there's a chance. Because Top Gun, like I predicted months ago, Paramount is very bad at playing this game.
Right.
And therefore it's
it depends. It'll come down to how many Oscars Top Gun loses, how many Oscars Tar can win, which
Tar
Drew
and
has.
Women Talking.
Yeah, and Women Talking, of course. And then Elvis.
Yeah. Things were looking really great for me for a while, and then Everything Everywhere just started eating up awards.
Yeah.
And none of us were able to draft that. It came out by the time that we drafted.
We made the call not to draft it,
Which at the time didn't seem like that big of a deal because it had just come out in limited release. It wasn't even wide whenever we first did our draft, if I remember correctly. But it was kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, that's charming. It'll win like a Spirit Award or
It
something
might
like
get
that.
one nomination.
Like it was like, oh man, I hope it gets an editing nomination. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
And we can't like overstate. I know we don't talk about the Oscars regularly on this show, but like how weird this is that Everything Everywhere, a movie with fucking Raccacoonie and with hot dog fingers, is like a runaway favorite to not only just win Best Picture, but to win like multiple 10, 11 Oscars.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not weird if you're Adam.
Right.
Yeah.
Who called it.
Called a shot immediately.
Yeah.
And we were like, no way.
What did he know?
Yeah. I mean, I was on the camp for a while of Top Gun being able to sneak in there, because this is going to be a really great Oscars in which the nominees and winners line up with not only the most popular movies, but also like the best movies. Like that, I feel like it's been forever since that has happened, where you look at the nominees and it's like, yeah, they got it. They nailed it.
Yeah.
They picked the biggest movies, the most seen movies, and actually like the best movies of the year. And obviously you're going to have people that from all angles be like, well, actually, Everything Everywhere is a piece of garbage and they didn't nominate blah, 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 blah. So whatever,
yeah.
For the most part, I think they nailed it this year. It is a great, great set of nominees. And yeah, I was thinking that Everything Everywhere was going to prove to be a bit too weird. And as we're nearing the end of the award season, all these guilds have given out their awards, all these other award shows. It is dominating.
Yeah.
It is set to win big time this weekend.
It won the Screen Actors Guild Award. It won the Writers Guild. It won the Directors Guild. It won the Producers Guild.
Yeah.
And this has led many people to ask, will Hollywood's biggest night end with a millennial moment?
It's going to end with an epic bacon moment.
Yeah. The multiverse is here, folks.
It's here to stay. No, but I will say, speaking to the nominees,
being kind of sad is actually okay. No, I joke. That movie rocks. If you can't live with that movie being a little corny, grow up.
It's still, I think that's one of the reasons why it works so well, even to like older audiences who probably can't wrap their head around like the sci-fi multiversal aspects. So at the end of the day, it's just like a family story about like what this immigrant lifestyle is and like kind of the pressures that you put on your children and trying to come together despite some of that friction that you put together. Like at the end of the day, it is a pretty old school story. It's just enveloped in this layer of like anime influence and really like weird online Reddit brain, which is kind of one of the reasons why, if there's been any backlash, weirdly, it hasn't been backlash to the movie itself. It's been backlash to the culture and to like the fans of it, which the fans of it suck. It teeters on like Rick and Morty fandom of
but
like
I feel like that's just a very like brain dead internet thing. Like if you talk to people like in the real world, they're either going to be like, that movie was great, or maybe I need to see that again. I don't know why it didn't click with me. They're not going to be like, holy shit, that was the best fucking movie I've ever seen in my fucking life. Or that was piece of garbage bullshit.
I've heard more of the former. If anything, I've heard people be just like, that was unbelievable. Like I've never seen a movie like that before. And honestly, I have never seen a movie quite like that before. Whenever we were leaving the theater, like that was one of the things that we talked about was like, the pace of that movie is like, it has a Gen Z pace to it. It has like a TikTok brain editing style to it, which I thought people would not vibe with because of how crazy fast it moves.
I think that the universality of it, I think that annoys a lot of like movie folk because it reminds me of like, I've noticed this phenomenon because I follow a lot of people on Twitter who skate and like, they don't post skate stuff, but like they like it. So it ends up in my feed. And anytime that like someone doing some really flashy trick goes viral, every person in the skate community is like, this is trash. Yeah. Like this is dog shit.
If it's popular, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, it looks good to me, but like, oh, if you actually know a lot about blah, 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 you'll realize that he's actually just doing something, like I don't know. I feel like it's a normal response if you're protective over something and feel like you need to know the most about it.
Right. And to just be a detractor.
Yeah, it just means that you're kind of a baby.
Right. Because there's some people out there that, I think sometimes it's a natural human thing to feel weird if you're suddenly in the consensus, if suddenly you find yourself in the majority, right? Like this movie has been embraced by so many people, and there's gonna be people out there that are like, wait a second, that doesn't feel right. Like I need to be different. Like I need to be more unique.
Right. Exactly. And it's like, it's also like, you know, the polarity thing of like, it's, you know, if everyone else loves it, then that means I have to hate it to balance it out. Versus like
it has enough love.
Yeah, it's not my number one movie of last year, but it's really good. It's great.
That in particular just made like a really weird year for the Oscars because we talked about this before. I know I talked about it a lot whenever I was kind of going through the my Oscar watch through. Is that if you look back in history, there's always this like false dueling narratives plot that's going on where it's like you're either a Shape of Water guy or you're a Three Billboards guy. You're either a 1917 guy or you're a Parasite guy. And this year it's kind of just like you're an Everything Everywhere All at Once guy or you're like scattered. It's like there was never
Fablemans, Top Gun,
nobody.
Banshees.
I think that part of it is just like a weird movie year that we kind of talked about before that like nobody threw their weight behind something like Fablemans to be like the old school, old fashioned competitor against Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think part of that is because there is like a Fablemans. There's also like an Elvis, which represents a classic type of Oscar movie. There's also Tar, which represents like the kind of auteur classic Oscar campaign winner. And then you have like the All Quiet on the Western Front as like the big international feature. So like nobody ever really threw their weight behind one central competitor. And out of that, Everything Everywhere All at Once is just going to dominate. It's just going to rise to the top.
I think it's also just underestimating. And I think I was victim of this too, just kind of underestimating just how much people love this movie. Like it's just, if anything has been proven by this award cycle is that even the weirdest fucking movies from the guys that did the Farting Corpse movie could be widely embraced. And I just did not expect that to happen. And there was always a voice in the back of my head saying like, no, there's gonna be something else that comes through that's the more conventional pick. And no, we're in a world where the pick is, it felt like the weird pick, but it turns out it's not that weird. It turns out everyone seems to be on board with it.
It is still like, it's the weird and like it's traditional and untraditional at the same time. Like, I think that people have gotten kind of bored with it. I mean, not like awards voters or anything like that. And I'm saying this was my second favorite movie of the year last year. I fucking love this movie. But like, I think that this movie is still so important and is such an amazing and refreshing and exciting change for the Academy that this is winning, because that means that opens up this whole thing where it's like, not only are we embracing stories about minorities and giving people voices that didn't normally ever have the chance to tell these stories on a big stage where it garnered awards consideration. It's also a big genre movie. This is a sci-fi movie. There's like no sci-fi movies in the entire history of Academy Award winners. Like this is bringing in all these kind of different specs of movie making that have just been grossly underrepresented for the history of the 95 years of the Academy Awards. And now we're actually like, it's so exciting that something like this is winning. I can't wait to see where the Academy goes to next.
Let's not jinx it yet. If it wins, do we think that it could go down in history as like as much of a sea change in the Oscars as something like Midnight Cowboy? Because that's a movie that's talked about a lot, is like demarcating an era, a shift in the era.
I think so, because in history, you know, we might look back on it as like the real, like, you know, old Hollywood's welcome party for A24.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, is the A24 is, remember, we literally made a bit on the WBAMs of like the most A24 movie not made by A24, because that represented a very specific type of movie. It represented like the auteur film that's made for like $2 million and it makes like $7 million and just like that kind of thing, not a best picture front runner. I think that I don't think this will be as big as something like Midnight Cowboy or even something like Parasite.
Things were so different back then.
Well, yeah, mostly because like Everything Everywhere is gonna win more than likely, and like I think a lot of people will care on Twitter the next day, but people aren't going to be watching the show. Like the Academy Awards just don't really matter as much as they
I don't know,
used to.
man.
Tell that to my film podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Top Gun's nominated.
Avatar.
Avatar, The Slap will, people will have like.
Oh, the bits are gonna be so bad.
Will there be another?
Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. People will watch just to see. Okay.
I will say just real quick about these nominees. This is one of the best slates that we've had in years, mostly because the floor is so high on these. Is the worst movie on here Elvis?
Yeah, and I still enjoyed
and
that
Elvis
movie.
was, I mean, I had a blast watching
Actually,
Elvis.
I'd say that the worst movie is Night Ride, the live action short.
Oh,
really?
Oh, okay. So you're just gonna spoil my pick then,
In terms of like the whole slate.
the entire slate.
Yeah.
So,
well, if we're bringing that in, then I should bring up that Bardo and the Whale are nominated for films for awards
For films.
they apparently they were films. Nobody told me this.
real quick, just kind of a top-down view of the nominees. Everything Ever leads with 11 nominations. Then All Quiet on the Western Front and Banshees of Inisherin both have 9. Elvis has 8. The Fablemans has 7. Tar and Top Gun both have 6. Black Panther has 5. Avatar has 4. And then Babylon, Batman, Triangle of Sadness, and The Whale have 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Living and Women Talking both with 2.
How many did Nope get?
Pour one out.
Babylon?
In a year where we're just sitting here and we're like, they really nailed it right. They still didn't nominate Babylon or Nope for Best Picture. So
quick thought. I saw Babylon.
Wait, what?
Oh.
You're holding on to this whole time?
Oh my God. So what's it like to have also seen every film ever made and never want to
How's
see
it like
another
to have
movie?
seen The Face of God?
So I didn't think that Damien had this in him.
Same. That was my take. I did not think this was a beat that
We're
he could
done
go.
with movies. We did all the movies. We
no
can
more
finish
movies.
it.
I didn't love First Man publicly. And well, as public as this podcast is, it's basically privately. Basically scream that at a wall. I didn't love it. And it was so dry. It was like eating fucking matzah. And this was matzo ball soup. Ooh, baby. Oh my God.
Dude, that golden hour sequence.
It is so good. It displays so much imagination, so much, I don't know, so much grandeur, so many, a good sense of humor, which
it's funny as hell.
Which wasn't entirely evident in the rest of his filmography.
No, I think I did not know that he could do funny. To be perfectly honest, I was just like, he's just gonna be a self-serious guy. That's
super
fine,
funny.
The Hello College.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Just like destroyer performances by everybody. Margot slaps.
She should have been nominated. Every scene in this movie, she's like best actress.
I would nominate her nipple.
That
ice nipples. God, that movie, dude.
This
is now a Babylon podcast.
This is a Babylon. Fuck the Oscars.
It's so funny that it didn't get nominated for anything. Like,
of course but also it's so funny because definitely leading up to it, people are like, oh, this is a movie about old Hollywood. This is going to be such an Oscar bait film. And then Damien Chazelle's like, fuck old Hollywood. And he's like, fuck show business. I'm going to make a movie about how you guys are all like the worst people
destroying your
imaginable
own art form
and possibly destroying my film career in the process.
I think that it might be my number 1 movie of last year.
I think so. I made a retro after the fact, talking on our group chat, and I said that's my number 1, just because it's the balls on Damien. It's
so insane and big and funny, and like I don't know, I couldn't want much more out of a movie. It rips.
Toby,
man,
Tobe.
Yeah,
we need to add like a best cameo to the WBAMs next year, or like a
best third act edition.
Best ending also that is like the ending to end all of
best
endings.
Poop.
Oh my
Incredible.
God.
That is like the moment right at the beginning of the film where it's like you're either on board or you're off. Like
we're shitting on the camera.
We're leaving the station right now. You can either hop on board or not. One last thing about Babylon. If Justin Hurwitz does not win best score, at least like that, I don't know what we're doing. That's truly one of the best scores I've ever heard in my entire life.
He's so good at writing a little like pop refrain.
No,
but the main like the love refrain, which plays a million times in different situations, but like it's very similar to like City of Stars.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that type of thing. He's good at like just like really simple like pop progressions and just putting a cute little melody on top, which like a lot of film score people completely lose sight of the fact that like you could just make it a catchy song.
Right.
Hans Zimmer's like, well, I have walls of sound and I'm making my own instruments, so I don't know what you're getting.
Yeah,
at here.
it's like
we're supposed to make this like diegetic and
it's just
listenable.
cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's a melody that someone could just sing in a normal song.
I do. I was earlier.
Yeah.
Just walking around. Also, Diego Calva.
Oh,
He needs to be a movie
he's
star.
a star. He
Cool
is
face.
a fucking star.
I hope we see more of him.
Interesting face on that guy.
Yeah.
it's one of those things where
I gotta say it.
in like a movie that's so star-studded and so like star-driven that he is out there like batting right back and forth with what Brad Pitt and what Margot Robbie are doing. Also, Brad Pitt, a lot of people have kind of shit on his performance. And I think that he is so good in that movie.
Well,
like,
I mean,
it's-
he's been method acting for years, apparently, in terms of like drinking way too much and like
Throwing things.
hurting
yeah.
people that
It's-
love him.
Right.
Did you hear? So I don't know if you read this afterwards that apparently they originally went to Leo for the part, and Leo was like, "I just kind of did this with Once
Yeah.
Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, I can't do the same character again." Brad's like, "I can do this. Don't worry, bud. I got you."
He rips. I love fucking Gene Smart, huh?
Gene Smart's.
I
oh,
didn't know she was in there.
or her speech to Brad in like the last act of the movie is gutting.
Yeah.
It's so
It kind of ties into the ending.
yeah.
Rory Scovel.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
no
our
one told
guy,
me?
The Count.
He-
I didn't want to spoil some of the
There's so
comedy
many.
heads
Spike
in there.
Jones is
Yeah.
in there.
Cool ass movie.
Spike Jones just going like,
My film, my lights. I ruined it.
So before let's get into these ballots. The first thing I need to say really urgently is that Gold Derby, the odds that they place are super annoying.
Oh, it does make sense.
Like
I was looking at Vegas Insider too.
the
should
odds
pull
that they
those up.
place are like a lesson on like improper fractions. Like, you know what I mean? It's so like, for example, if we're starting with best live action short, An Irish Goodbye is leading with 7-2 odds. In second place is Les Pupilles. Les Pupilles with 71-20 odds. They could have just made it 3-1 odds. Like, who are they fucking kidding? Also, I know, I guess it would be 3.5 because it needs to be above 7. It needs to be below 7-2. So basically, they're making it as close to 7-2 as possible.
Here's the thing.
Without going ahead of An Irish Goodbye. And they do that in every single category. They will have.
You just don't have to do that. Is the thing.
They don't have to do that because what matters is like the places. If they think that it's this much of a deadlock, and also the distance between first and last in any given category is really close.
Well, again,
It just looks far away.
that's the thing that is like the most frustrating. When it's just like, everything everywhere all at once, 6-1 odds to win Best Picture. It's like, actually, I guess if you're looking at like every movie that came out this year and just like put them on a graph together, I guess so. But in the context of this, it's like, no, that's like a -700 favorite.
It's
like
just
that's like
silly.
a huge favorite.
Like
at
if
this
a
point.
real odds maker was like, cool, you want to bet on best documentary short? You have 5 options. The most likely option is 17-5. So like, that's like 3.4 to 1. The least likely option is 9-2. That is 4.5 to 1.
So
that is not enough distance between first and last.
why? Because this is like a thing. I think that not exactly like this, but I think that this is how like the Brits and how English look at sports books and stuff like that is by fractions, which is an insane thing that like breaks my brain looking at.
Fucking Brits.
Why
man.
don't we just bring in like normal, like have an odds maker come in? It's just like, it's -250. This one's +325. This one's +475. Then it's like, okay, I can wrap my head around that.
It's just if you're gonna do 71-20 and 7-2 and then 71-20, grow up. You're fucking stupid.
Before we get into the ballots, there's one little piece of trivia that I wanted to ask you guys. Okay. So Top Gun Maverick is nominated for Best Picture.
right.
It is the 5th movie so far in the 21st century that is both the highest grossing movie of the year and nominated for Best Picture. Can you guys name the other 4?
Avatar.
Yeah,
that's
Avatar.
one of them.
What's it called? Return of the King.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. I feel it's not going to be from the last. Well,
Black Panther.
Joker. Wait, no, Joker wasn't. Black
Yes.
Panther. Yeah.
You got 3. There's one more. It's the
Was
hardest
it a winner or was it just nominated?
one.
probably-
It did not win that
Okay.
year.
The hardest one, you say?
Yeah. This.
Oh, was it Up?
No.
Okay. I knew Up was nominated and made a fuck ton of money. Or Toy Story 3?
That. Oh, was that nominated for Best
No,
Picture?
yeah, Toy Story 3 was nominated for Best Picture.
I don't think it was the highest grossing movie.
Okay,
of the
then
year.
then it's the 6th.
Okay, so Toy Story 3
that
was
was the
I was like
highest
Toy Story
grossing
3
movie?
was
Yeah.
Yeah,
it-
that movie made an ungodly amount.
I
of
did
money.
not. I didn't realize that was nominated for Best
Yeah,
Picture.
it was nominated for Best
Okay.
Picture in 2010.
Okay.
What,
so
did you
there's
not even fucking like look it up?
Jesus Christ.
there's one
trying to make up your own
there's
trivia
one
facts
movie.
here and fuck
There's
it up.
one more movie that's on this list.
Is it first 10 years? Is it in the aughts?
No, it's in the 10s.
Oh, okay. It wasn't The Artist.
It's a veteran director.
It was nominated, didn't win.
How much money did The Mule make?
You're on. You're.
Am
you're
I
on-
right? Did
You're on.
Clint-
You're no. You're on to something with the mule.
Eastwood.
Yeah.
It's
True
an East
Grit?
Oh my! Wait,
He
no,
didn't
Gran
direct.
Torino. No. That was 06.
What has he even directed?
Is it True Grit?
That's not. That's the Coen brothers.
That is
Yeah,
a Coen
yeah.
Brothers movie. Fuck. What is? I'm trying to think through.
Number one
It was
highest
$1 Million
grossing movie
Baby
of
'cause
the
that was,
year.
It was 2010s.
The year it came out. A Clint Eastwood movie.
It's in the 2010s. Clint Eastwood made the highest
American
grossing movie.
Sniper?
Yes!
Oh my god, that's
American Sniper.
Fuck,
you
I
got it.
Ew.
Dude, American Sniper is a movie that has lost to time. That movie made $1 billion and was the most important thing whenever it came out.
Yeah.
And now no one cares at all.
Bad vibes.
So
Awful vibes. Because isn't Kyle? What's his
Chris
name? Like,
Kyle.
isn't he like a piece of shit?
Never trust someone whose last name is Kyle.
Yeah.
Much
Hey,
less.
Bradley Cooper
Much less first.
has
Yeah.
ascended since then.
Good
Mhm.
for
So
Brad.
yeah, probably Top Gun's probably the best movie out of all of those that we just named. So good
Yeah,
for
I
them.
mean it's between that and Return of the King.
right. Oh
and-
yeah, right.
But I mean, Top Gun's more like singularly fun than Return of the King
Yeah.
is. Return of the King is I love that
It's a
movie. It's also
journey.
like homework because it's 4.5 hours if you're gonna watch extended version of it. But
How dare you?
Okay. Let's get into these ballots. So we're gonna lock in our picks. We're having a big ol' Oscar party this weekend, and every year we do a pool of who can get the most categories right. So we're gonna lock in our picks here.
that was what determined us watching
Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat this past year.
So let's do it again.
Yeah.
Every
Cat in the Hat round 2.
every year we have our handy dandy Vanity Fair ballot here. It's becoming a tradition. Every year we start at the bottom. Should we also do that
Sure.
this year? Start
Yeah,
at the bottom.
let's do
Get
it.
these 3 short categories out of the way. Okay. So I actually I filled out like a preliminary ballot the other day,
It's fucked up.
but I might be making some changes.
You actually aren't allowed to do
on
that.
the fly.
I don't know if you could do that.
Just kind of looking at Gold Derby, kind of looking at Vegas Insider. My pick for documentary short subject is going to be The Elephant Whisperers. What do you guys got?
I love it so much. I'm gonna go with it as well.
Okay. If the more you line up, the less opportunities you have to, win if we're wrong.
The thing is that I'm also going to go with the Elephant
Okay.
Whisperers. Normally I like to see these Oscar shorts because they play at a local art house
Enzian.
theater at the Enzian. But they played while I was out of town, and now they're no longer playing at the theater.
Yeah, they're
So
gone forever. You can't watch them.
Well, honestly, a lot of these you literally cannot watch. As
Oh.
much as you Google, like they just don't exist. So the Elephant Whisperers, it is.
Live action short, I have Le Pupille.
Le Poupie?
What about you guys? I know An Irish Goodbye was another one that had some good odds.
Did you never saw any of these, Ernie? Did you?
I meant to. I'm an Enzian member. I didn't carve out the time to go.
I gotta go with my heart. I'm gonna go with The Longest Goodbye.
The Irish Goodbye?
No. You're gonna take the Robert Altman film, The Long Goodbye.
What are we looking at here? Oh, I'm looking at 2022.
Is that a film that came out in 2022?
Also a short.
Yeah.
So is this a sequel? The Irish Goodbye is a sequel to The Longest Goodbye?
Well, because an Irish goodbye is actually the shortest goodbye that you can give to a person. So,
that's wow.
Yeah.
So
it's like the father and the son
I'm
kind
gonna-
of situation.
I think I'm gonna go with Roosevelt.
Okay.
for all the categories, right?
I think Roosevelt's going
For your consideration in all
You're
categories.
like, guys, did you know that Scorsese put out a movie last year?
With Leonardo DiCaprio as was it Teddy Roosevelt or Franklin Roosevelt?
Isn't it Teddy? It's Teddy, right?
It's got to be Teddy.
Okay.
If you're making a fucking
FDR,
Roosevelt movie,
and you
I'm
just
sorry.
you just have Leo just sitting in a chair the whole time, just like calling in shots. Like,
Hell no.
I'm going to serve a third term.
Wow, that was an incredible Leo.
I think, thank you.
Animated short.
Well, let me tell you what I'm going to take, and I'm going to go ahead and take The Red Suitcase.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Little detraction here. What are the Vegas Insider?
They're pretty much all the same odds. So I just want to have a little bit of a diversity up at the top. That might be the thing that ruins me, picking The Red Suitcase, the upset pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with an Irish Goodbye here.
Animated. Okay,
Okay.
so this one might be a deciding category.
Oh man, how sad is it going to be if it's decided by live action short and none of us have seen any of these three things?
Animated short, I have The Boy, The Mule, The Fox, and The Horse.
I have the same one.
Okay.
I've actually heard
It's the
of this one.
mole.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the boy, the
Shit.
mole, the fox. and
Embarrassing.
the
my
horse.
inner Eastwood came out.
What? I've actually heard that this one's pretty good. Is this the Netflix one?
And nobody's going with an ostrich told me the world is
Oh, no.
fake, and I think I believe it.
This one actually you are available to watch. It's on Apple, which is always a good thing. If you turns out that it's a good plus to make your movies available to watch on services.
Will we have an upset by My Year of Dicks? Will that
Last year there was an upset in this category.
okay?
What was it? I don't remember.
The windshield wiper.
Oh, that one was honestly the animated shorts last year sucked, in my opinion. So yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. So those are the three short categories. Let's get into the main meat here with visual effects. Avatar, The Way of Water.
I believe in the rights of Payakan, and I'm also taking Avatar: The Way of Water.
Justice for the Tulkun. The Metkaina.
Didn't impress me. No, I'm joking.
This has to this is. I almost want to say that this is like the biggest lock of the night. How
It is minus
this not-
minus 1,050 on Vegas Insider.
There's more locks. There's bigger locks than that on Vegas Insider.
I was, but
This
like,
is
just-
how you actually do odds.
This
by
is
the way.
quite literally, yeah, exactly. It's just you
Have
have to
a
bet
fucking-
$1,000 to win $100.
Yeah, have
like,
a favorite. Gold Derby. Yeah, if Gold Derby were real, they would let us like take those odds that they're putting up. Those
Yeah, you're like, oh,
fucking
6
odds.
to 1 odds. Okay, bet.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
3.5 to 1 to take like the heavy favorite.
Cool.
You
Well, let's
fucking
do it.
morons.
All right, so we all did Avatar.
Yeah, this movie is entirely visual effects. If it doesn't win visual effects, it's kind of like criminal.
It'll probably be the only Oscar it wins. Okay, next is Best Sound, which this one is not as much of a lock, but I am going with Top Gun Maverick.
Same.
I am also going to go with Top Gun Maverick. I feel if there is an upset here, it's going to go to All Quiet on the Western Front, and I could
Mama.
definitely
Yeah.
see
Mama.
Mama could pull an upset here. I could definitely see All Quiet on the Western Front just like end up like leaving the night with like 5 below the belt wins.
Yeah, and all these technicals. Yeah,
Because the thing is, all these fucking international people,
they
love their German soldiers.
Mhm. Okay, next is production design. I got Babylon, boys. How are we feeling?
City
We
of
taking it?
Stars. Wait,
Not quite.
I'm taking it.
You're gonna take Babylon.
This might be the only Oscar Babylon gets, unless it also gets score. I just feel like, it's a period piece, a lot of sets.
They designed productions in the production.
Right.
They did do it. That is a lot of production.
It is kind of a
design.
movie about production design. if you
I
think
just,
about it.
Part of me really thinks that's going to go to Elvis here, but
Yeah.
I'm going to take Babylon because I'm voting with my heart.
Okay.
And sometimes you just have to manifest these things. And I want Babylon to put
If we go down, we go
winner
down
of
together.
2 Academy Awards
Yeah.
on the
big
4K,
two.
like 25-year-old, like 24 karat reproduction of this film.
Okay, next is makeup and hairstyling. Going Elvis.
I think it's
I think-
definitely the most makeup and hairstyling. Therefore, I'm also going
But
with Elvis.
the Whale.
I'm going whale mode.
The Whale is, if this is one of the ones that's
Technically, the whale is the most.
right.
That is true.
Pound for pound.
This is one of the ones
I
that
thought Brendan just looks like that now.
early on in the night we could see how strong Elvis is if it loses this category.
If Elvis wins makeup and hairstyling and production design, like as like 2 of the first 3 or 4
Right.
Oscars that are given out, then that could be like a oof. Go
Yeah.
ahead and get Austin Butler ready out there to go
Right.
full Elvis. He's
Right.
going to be helping old women up on stage and
Because
everything.
here's the thing, we're going to get into this in a little bit, but 3 of the 4 acting categories are in pretty intense competition, which is going to make this a fun show. But if the Whale wins makeup, that makes the best actor race even more of a toss-up. So I'm going Elvis, but we'll see. All right, editing. Editing, I think, is tough because some of the precursor awards have been a little bit all over the place with this one. I think Elvis picked up one. I think Top Gun picked up another one. But I think I'm going to go with Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I'm going with Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
So am I. I think it's a kind of a shame that Tar isn't being more seriously considered for this.
Yeah.
I think the editing is
Incredible.
secret sauce.
The editing's so good in that movie. But I think that this is almost, I'm saying this not as a negative against Everything Everywhere, but as a negative against the editing community at the Academy Awards. Most of the time, the most editing is what gets nominated. Please see Bohemian Rhapsody winning a Best Editing Oscar at the Academy Awards. The movie that is like, literally, that movie's edited to shit. Like, that movie is fucking unwatchable with how bad some of the cuts are and some of the sequences. But
Now,
it has the most.
on Vegas Insider, the odds for Everything Everywhere aren't that crazy. It's minus 195.
Yeah.
So it's not like this category is a super
Yeah,
lock.
Top Gun's plus 175. It's pretty much a 2-horse race between those two from what I'm seeing on like FanDuel and stuff like that.
Don't be shocked if this category doesn't line up with Best Picture. See Whiplash winning editing back in that year
That
and
rules.
losing
It's a great
Best
one.
Picture. So it has happened, and especially more so in the last decade or so. Oh yeah, it's sad to see Tar at the bottom of those odds.
Yeah.
That sucks. Plus 3,400.
The shots are long. There's literally no editing.
That's I remember. Do you guys remember when 1917 people were shitting on there? Like, where's the editing? It's all one cut. And it's like, guys, I have news for you. It actually isn't all one cut, and that's what makes it good editing.
All right, next is costume design. I got Elvis for this one too.
This one has really close odds.
I'm actually going to go with All Quiet on the Western Front here.
For costume. Interesting.
Oh wait, I'm
It's
sorry.
not
I am
nominated.
looking at the wrong thing.
No, your
I-
light's locked in.
No. I'm sorry. I was looking at the next category on here. No, I am going with Elvis for that. I pre-locked in that one. I was.
This would
looking
be
at
a
the
good
next
one to
category
zag
on
on
here.
and take Black Panther, but
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take Elvis.
Well-
I don't know. I don't think that the Academy is woke.
I mean, Babylon could take this. This one could go a couple of different ways. I could see Black Panther just because that costume designer is the same one from the first Black Panther, which
did
won
win.
that year,
Yeah.
and she's apparently like kind of a very beloved costume designer in the industry. I just think that Elvis has to win something. It can't like. I don't see it walking away without anything. And so of these, kind of makeup and costume ones, it's got to win at least one,
Yeah. By the way, you're talking about Ruth Carter, who's like absolute legend, costume designer. Like pretty much done almost every single Spike Lee movie.
Oh, true.
Like Malcolm X, School Days, all those big ones.
Okay, next is cinematography. Is this the one you were saying?
Yeah,
All
this
Quiet?
one is All Quiet.
This one's tough, guys.
I will say this category sucks.
This is a crazy category.
I don't know what happened here. There was so much good filmmaking here this year. Bardo, which is a movie that looks like shit. It looks like it was filmed on no shouts. Friend of the pod, Harry's drone. Like in 1080p, just floating around.
That good.
It looks awful. I think Empire of Light. It's
just
that
Deakins.
I haven't seen.
It's just Roger Deakins.
But like, it looks like he was like sleepwalking through filming that movie.
There's been a mistake. Bardo, you guys won Best Picture.
Jesus fucking Christ!
I'm not going with Bardo.
Give it to Bardo. No, fucking do it.
I really want to kind of go out on a limb for at least one category.
Go for Tar.
I think I'm going to go Tar.
Dude, I would love if Tar won cinematography.
Think about when like Mank won this Oscar that year.
Did Mank win cinematography?
Yeah, Mank won cinematography. Like there's got to be the Oscars
I
always
won best movie played at 1.25.
No, one Best Mank. It was Best Mank.
One Best Mank.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
The Oscars always throw in something interesting like this. Like you can't, as much as there's all these precursors awards and shit, there's always at least one category that kind of surprises you. And I really want Tar to win something.
I mean, this might be its best chance because I don't know if it's going to win anything else.
Yeah, I'm going Tar. What about you, Drew?
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay. Yeah, that's the safe pick.
Drew, I mean, Ernie, if you're feeling confident with Tar, you should throw some money on this because I have plus 2,300, 23 to 1 odds. Not the lowest odds. Bardo is the lowest odds, which it's almost like why did we invite him to the party? Like if he wasn't going to come.
I could lose a lot of money if I wanted to.
Listen, Ernie, I have some friends in states where it's legal. Just go ahead and just let me know. We'll connect.
All right. Next is Best Original Song. My Dear, My Love. We just saw this the other night, Drew. RRR. I love this movie, guys. I can't wait to see this song performed on Sunday.
Oh, that's gonna rule. Well, I really can't wait to see This Is a Life. Or no, I can't wait to see
David
Applause by Tell It Like a Woman.
Okay, here's a question. Could we have a situation where it's a huge Everything Everywhere sweep?
Yes.
And it just wins everything, including this award?
Yes, I think it's doubtful, but I would not bet on that at all. It'll be great to see David Byrne there. Happy he'll be there with our boy Lux.
Yeah.
I think if anything is pulling an upset, it's gonna be
Rihanna.
See, so a lot of people are saying Rihanna. I actually think it would be Hold My Hand because Lady Gaga at the Academy Awards people love. Remember a couple years ago? Her and our boy Bradley just eye fucking each other on stage.
Baby.
Can we bring Bradley? I know he's not in a movie this year.
Can we bring him up on stage? Another Oscar?
Yeah, can we?
That song sucks. I'm gonna say it.
What?
Oh,
You're
Hold
like
My
the
Hand?
biggest. Oh, I thought you meant a Star.
Oh no, Hold My Hand does suck. I think that's the worst thing about
it sucks and it has nothing to do with that movie.
They just really missed on the songs of that. The music of Top Gun is so iconic, and if there's one knock against Maverick over the original, it's just like
why isn't the One Republic song nominated?
I ain't worried about it right now. God, should we kill One Republic?
I know.
Should we execute them?
I had to put it on mute just to get hard to that fucking scene, the football scene. It's fucking ridiculous.
I don't get them. What's their deal? Like, what's their thing? Why are they like the 5th biggest rock band in the world?
They're not going to give all their secrets away.
Bazinga.
Fucking kill myself.
It's too late for me to apologize for that one.
Tell me what you want from me. All right. Are we all doing RRR?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'm wishing this.
Let's go.
This is going to be one of the best moments of the night is when they perform Natu Natu up on stage. And I know they're going to go up and they're going to get like Cate Blanchett to dance around at this point. They'll like pull Meryl Streep, just like get her out here, even though she's not in a movie this year. They're going to get people dancing along to it. It's going to be great. And it's going to go on to win nothing else for the rest of the night.
I am going to regret a lot of life decisions when I see Jimmy Kimmel trying to do the Natu dance. That's going to be a low moment for me. And, the things that I hold dear in my heart.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg, though, if they get him up there without cracking a hip.
Spielberg would be down. Spielberg was a big fan of RRR. Yeah. There's that one interview between him and SS Rajamouli where they were just like, we both respect each other's game. And it's like, oh my God, this is beautiful watching this. The next one is
score.
This is going to be like my thing of, I know that this is like a below the line category, but this has to go to Babylon.
Yeah,
and if this
I'm going
doesn't,
Babylon.
I'm going to be so upset. It's going to ruin my entire night if they're like, oh, this actually goes to like fucking All Quiet on the Western Front for incorporating guns.
Pop.
Actually, the All Quiet on the Western Front score is actually pretty good, but I didn't mean to.
I have a message to the makers of All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch
Here's
it.
the thing, Drew. It's pretty good.
I don't care.
It was solid.
I didn't ask.
It was a solid
I didn't
movie.
fucking ask. I'm not going to watch it.
It's not as good as the original from the 1930s. And it's
fuck you.
It's fine. The thing is, it's definitely a movie that would have played better with the dads if it played in theaters, but I don't think the dads know how to like log onto their Netflix account and pull it up. And then they like watching on their phones and they're like, I can't hear it. Wait, they aren't speaking English.
Oh.
What do I do with this?
Dads like will get on Netflix for a purpose, but then the tiles will entrance them and they'll end up watching like Red Notice again or something.
I can't stop. I can't tell you how many times my dad has called me in like a cold sweat panic because he's like, Red Notice just started playing again. I'm trapped here.
The Rock and Ryan Reynolds are haunting my dreams. Okay, so all Babylon all the time. That's a fucking amazing score. Shout out to Sun Lux though.
I know
it's Everything Everywhere.
Again, I mean, if there's gonna be like just an Everything Everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
Was there
performance?
Did you guys have a particular score from last year that stuck out to you as like very bad?
Oof.
Oh, I have one from this year that stuck out to me as genuinely surprisingly awful, and it was Mark Mothersbaugh in Cocaine Bear.
Oh, wow.
You're talking about this year, 2023.
Well, I asked last year, but I really just wanted to talk about Mark Mothersbaugh is a super solid score guy. He's like, he's like a discount fucking the other guy from Oingo Boingo. What?
The other guy from Danny Elfman? The other guy from Oingo Boingo?
The guy who's not Danny Elfman.
Well, guess what? Oingo Boingo is not as good as Devo. So Mark will always have that over Danny Elfman's bitch ass. I'm sorry. The score is atrocious in Cocaine Bear. It is so all over the place, genre to genre, moment to moment. He's scoring it like it's an episode of like fucking Fairly Odd Parents. It sucks.
I remember whenever this is like going back in the dome, but as far as like Oscar movies with like a particularly awful score, I know that I talked about it at the time, but Hillbilly Elegy's score was like comical. It had like a Driving Miss Daisy score to this like trash family. It was so everything about that movie was abominable, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there was one that was really bad from last year. The Whales score was like deeply melodramatic, but I think that's just because the movie didn't work. So therefore, like, it's one of those things where you're already stuck in a bad movie and then you're like hyper observant of everything in it.
It wasn't going to be just like tuba.
Yeah.
I can't really pick one out.
Every time he walks around.
Maybe Don't Worry, Darling. It's because like nothing really clicked in that movie too much.
That's a good call. That score is not very good. It's
underrated score. Lorne Balfe's score in Ambulance.
Honestly, yeah, it's a good score.
That's a good one.
No nominations for Ambulance,
dude. What are we doing?
How did Batman not get original?
Yeah,
score?
I was about to say
that should have gotten.
I was about to say pour one out. Also, Glass Onion. There might be some weird rules with that if they reused. I don't know.
I don't think so because fucking Lord of the Rings won Best Original Score 3 years.
Also, doesn't John Williams get nominated for like every Star Wars movie, and it's always the same?
It's always the same thing. So I don't know if that. I don't know if it matters if it's the same. If it's like your song, like if they have the weird rules where like if you incorporate an original or like incorporate a pop song into your score, that doesn't get counted. Like whenever I remember I got 5 on it, incorporated into the Us score, didn't count towards the best original score. Like, dun, 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 dun.
That sucks.
Even though is like one of the most iconic, like
there should be best interpolation, which that would win.
Right.
And then there should be just like best use of an old song.
Right.
So that like so that fucking I just had one in my head.
Elvis, Doja Cat.
That was the big one. Let's go. I do think, Drew, you are moving towards my pitch, which is let's make the Oscars 12 hours long. Let's make it a full day affair. Yeah. Let's make it like the fucking Super Bowl. I want more awards.
Also pour one out for Black Panther. Not that it needs it, but Ludwig just going hard on that score.
It's definitely like the most score. I don't like that score very much, and I feel like I'm in the minority for that. I actually thought that was just like overproduced.
Hunter is not invited to the Scandinavian cookout.
That's fine. Don't come.
All right, next is documentary. This has been kind of an all over the place category.
If you've looked at the odds like day to day, week to week, they jump back and forth.
It really looked like Fire of Love was the leader at the beginning, and then All the Beauty and the Bloodshed started to become the leader, and now looks like Navalny is the pick. So this could go a bunch of different ways. I've seen Fire of Love. That's the only one that I've seen. I love that movie.
Oh, you haven't seen you should see All the Beauty and the Bloodshed.
I know.
That was honestly like my number 11 of the year last year. That movie is fucking unbelievable.
I think I'm going to go with Navalny though. Just because it's been winning the most precursors and it's like topical to the Russian-Ukrainian conflict.
Yeah, that's why I'm also going to pick Navalny for that same reason, because a lot of times with documentary and with shorts, a lot of times it just goes to like what's topical. There was that best live action short a year or two ago that was honestly like, I thought it was just atrocious, the politics of it, but it was the one where it was like Groundhog Day, except a black kid keeps getting killed by a cop every day.
Oh my god.
It was, dude, it was like almost
Christ.
It was so bad. It was just like, and at the end of the movie it's just like, I'm just gonna keep grinding and keep doing.
Isn't that the
thing.
Van Lathan movie?
Yeah, it's a Van Lathan produced movie. I thought that it was atrocious. Like I thought that like I could not stand it whatsoever. But again,
I gotta say though,
it's freaking topical.
I love the Rewatchables episode about that.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, brother.
Okay, the next category is animated feature, which I think this might be the biggest lock on
Man, Marcel is going to show up Marcel is going to do the Natu dance, and we're just going to sit there and not give it to him in his little shell.
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio has minus 2,000.
I mean, minus sounds bad to me. I'm going to go with the Sea Beast. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, you do that.
I already checked it, so you can't make me hold to that. I already checked Pinocchio.
I tried to watch the Sea Beast, and to be honest, I stopped watching it because Guy and I are in our household not big pirate fans. Not big pirates. Not big fans of pirates.
What you got against pirates?
Well, the scurvy for one.
Also,
eat a fucking orange.
I do feel like there is sort of.
This is mostly one of Gaia's bits that she hates pirates, but then I just put it on, and it's very pirate heavy in the first half.
I think there's sort of an adversarial relationship between pirates and clowns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but
it's like the Freddy versus Jason of the collectible world.
Actually,
everybody's saying this.
there is actually a bigger lock than this, which is the next category, international feature.
I did want to say, pour one out also for Hello Papa, Ciao Papa,
Ciao Papa,
for not being nominated for Best Original Song. A song that actually, of all these songs, like I actually do like sing that. I hum that around my house. Pouring out to that. But Best International Feature. So where are we going with? Are we going with Argentina 1985 here or what?
Yeah, the one that won the Golden Globe.
It did win a Golden Globe. Don't forget it.
No, this has minus 3,500.
That
all quiet on the Western Front.
For the layman listener, that would mean that if you wanted to win $100 betting on this movie, you would have to bet $3,500. That's how it works. That is as locked as it gets. Yeah, it means that they don't want to give you money for betting on that.
Yeah, they're like just
they
don't
know
even.
It's going to win.
Yeah.
Can I borrow $3,500 from you guys? I'll split you guys out each.
You'll give us $50 each.
I'll give you guys $33 each.
Oh yeah, you do have to take it.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna make a bet for you guys. I just take your money and then it loses. I'm like, sorry guys. I don't know what to tell you.
He's gonna do a prop bet on the donkey from EO storming the stage and slapping someone.
Do we think EO could make an on the red carpet? Can we have EO strut her stuff onto the stage with Marcel just riding on EO's back?
Please,
that'd be great.
Please.
So next up is Best Supporting Actress, which does give us
no, it's adapted screenplay.
We got the two
one
screenplays.
quick thing. How the fuck is Decision to Leave not an international feature?
Yeah, what
this
happened?
is a crime against humanity.
South Korea.
Decision to Leave is not here. That this is like truly one of the best movies of the year. It's not even an international feature.
Yeah,
okay, that's it.
Decision to Leave it out.
All right, now we got the two screenplay categories. So first is adapted, which has been a category in which Top Gun was looking like it could squeeze through just because it
won the writers.
Surprise.
Yeah.
It got a surprise nomination. No one thought Top Gun was going to get nominated in this category. I was like, whoa.
I don't want to predict something like this, but I think that if Women Talking doesn't win, there are going to be riots in the streets of America.
Yeah, they need to talk. Let them talk.
The people just want. They mostly want me to win.
Right.
Our little.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
I think I'm going to go Women Talking.
Part of me feels like this is going to be All Quiet on the Western Front.
That's the other one. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Women Talking because I think that they have to win something. Like, it's
they
going
got
to be
the Best
really
Picture
bad
nom.
if it's... yeah, it's not fucking winning Best Picture. I would say that's running in 10th out of 10 places for Best Picture. So I feel like this is the only chance for Women Talking to win anything. And it's just... not a great look for a lot of the nominees already having like diversity problems and stuff like that whenever you're looking at the directors and lack of diversity in the actual acting pool itself. Women Talking has to win this. This has to be like a makeup Oscar within the ceremony.
All right. Next is original screenplay. I've seen a lot of people posting out there about this one. A lot of pundits, a lot of people think they think they're smart, you know.
Are people trying to get smart? People trying to talk about how the Irish are important?
Right. Exactly. A lot of pro-Irish talk out there with this category. I think this is unquestionably Everything Everywhere, which is, you know, I understand why they're saying the things that they're saying, because a lot of times this category goes to a movie like Everything Everywhere,
and then Best Picture
it's the only thing that it
yeah.
gets.
Yeah.
You know,
You
it's
mean-
like
do
the
you mean-
special award.
Do you mean Banshees?
No.
Like normally.
Oh, I got you.
Normally, this is like the
when-
cool award. Like this is actually the best winner of the year, and then we're gonna get Best Picture, like the classic Oscar.
Like when Jordan Peele won for Get Out.
Yeah.
This is one that I would give to Tar in 1 second of thought.
Yes, without a doubt, this is the best screenplay of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a shot. There's a shot.
I know, but there's really not. You know, and it's so funny. Like it's also Fabelmans. Like I feel like the gap should be so closed.
No, I think this category is not fully locked. This could go a couple of different ways.
If Tar won, though, I would like yelp during their party. If we got a Tar win, that would be like the coolest thing to happen.
Todd Field is not in an orchestra or a composer or anything. He just like learned about it.
It's an incredible screenplay.
Yeah, it's like
It's
it's
so good.
it's
It's
like an
the
old
perfect
school
screenplay.
like, yeah, I'm going to learn about a thing and then write about it. And it's so well done. I'm going to go with Banshees.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's the posting I've been seeing.
Mhm.
People out
That's
there
the-
writing.
Do you remember how
Martin
hard they
McDonagh.
sucked off 3 Billboards, the
Right.
Oscars?
That is
It's a
true.
great
Yeah.
screenplay too.
I think the first half of it's a great screenplay.
I mean, it's way better than 3 Billboards.
That is true.
Okay. Next. Okay. So
now we're getting into the acting, which honestly have been all over the fucking place.
Which is great.
Except for one, which is, no, that is so exciting. That means
Every
right off the
year-
bat, we're going to get, well, right out, they'll probably open with Best Supporting Actor, which is like the one lock here. But
Yeah. Every year, the acting categories are like so locked in and it's so boring. Everyone's just coasting to the finish line. I am so excited for this year's Oscars because of these 4 acting categories, because it feels like there's actually some drama and suspense.
So this is where we need to take a quick break and talk about the BAFTAs, during which Angela Bassett did the thing. I have watched that performance so many times. I feel genuinely awful for her. I know
For Ariana DeBose.
she was trying so fucking hard,
Oh.
and it just flopped. It's like the speech that Gene Smart gives to Brad Pitt in Babylon. It's like
ghosts of cinema.
you couldn't have done anything different. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Your time is done.
It's everything. It's the cuts to the people reacting to her doing
Oh,
it.
man.
It's her body movement.
It's her being fully out of breath immediately.
Oh, man.
When she's definitely rehearsed it a lot. It's Jamie Lee Curtis who's nominated and in the mix here. Jamie Lee, she was trying to throw her a bone, you know?
Right.
She was trying to be like, oh, this is great.
So
Jamie Lee's always down to hang. Like Jamie Lee is a vibe matcher.
I hate to say it because like these awards, like there's already a level of stupidity here, but there's an even bigger level where like that shit matters. That plays into like Oscar voting ended like 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Voters
people see
saw
things
that.
like that. Yeah,
And it influenced them one way or another.
They no longer think that Angela Bassett did the thing.
yeah. They're like, I think was that Andrea Riseborough who did the thing?
Andrea Riseborough did the thing. She did though.
She did a thing.
So I think this might be the most wide open race of the night.
I wouldn't be surprised if 4 of the 5.
Yeah. So the nominees
Hung
are
Chow winning would be genuinely shocking, but otherwise,
That'd be so fun.
Angela
Hung Chow winning
Bassett.
for the menu. I mean, the whale.
And then Brendan Fraser loses.
That would rule.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
Hong Chow is also gives a better performance than Brendan Fraser in the movie that's made to give Brendan Fraser an Oscar.
So it's Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Hong Chow the Whale, Carrie Condon, Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere, and Stephanie Sue, Everything Everywhere. The odds, none of these people have odds in the likely range, in the negative.
Yeah, they're all
range.
plus money.
They're all plus money. So you could win money betting on any of these.
Especially
win double your money.
Right.
yeah, especially when like Angela Bassett, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Carrie Condon are just kind of all
They're in
right there.
Yeah, they're all in between
They're in
100 and 200.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When was the last time that happened in
That
an
a
acting
three-way
category?
race, maybe 2 people, but like 3-way that it's just like
I don't see Carrie Condon winning. Just like narratively, like what would people be trying to say by giving her that?
Especially because Banshees as a whole hasn't had as celebrated of an awards run.
Yeah, and she's, she is awesome in that movie, but she is not the avenue to celebrate that movie. TBH.
The thing is that she is somebody who would profit if the movie was actually a Best Picture frontrunner. Because it would be like, actually, you know who's great is Carrie Condon giving the quiet performance. But you give her the Best Supporting love whenever you're also giving Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson the love. Like, you don't just give her the best performance out of all 3 of them. I would be cool. I think that she's fucking incredible in Banshees. I love her performance. I think that she's one of the things that actually makes the third act of the movie like work better whenever it does get more, it has more emotionality to it. I'm going with Angela Bassett here.
Yeah, she hasn't won an Oscar before.
I
think this is her second nomination.
She's old as hell, despite looking fine as fuck.
But
she's great in the movie.
She is the only good thing in the movie.
She basically won the Oscar with the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm very torn, guys. I think that Jamie Lee Curtis has a really good shot of winning this award.
Does she have one?
She doesn't have one.
She doesn't have one. This is actually her first nomination.
Yeah.
She's a legend. Like all those Activia commercials, dude. Like
I know.
Hollywood
so we should
loves
say
JLC.
But we should say the Academy is a little bit different in the acting categories whenever they come to like the It's Time Award for men versus women.
Yeah.
Usually for women and for actresses, for the best actress, best supporting actress, they want to give it to the young up and comer. They want to give it to J-Law and like her first big star making performance. They might want to give it to Carrie Condon as like, oh my God, who's this new face I haven't seen before? Where you get into like the It's Time things, that's usually comes from like the guy side of things, where it's like this dude has been nominated 4 times, 5 times. You have to give him an award. Remember Glenn Close, guys. Never forget. Glenn Close was in
Still
The Wife.
kicking.
Nominated, and everybody was like, this is the lock of all locks. She's going to win. And then what happened? She still did not win.
So here's what I think is going for her is her movie is going to win Best Picture.
Yeah. It's going to win a lot.
The whites, the voting body who watches that movie and people at large are calling it a Jamie Lee Curtis movie,
which is insane.
No, of course.
Yeah.
But they're not going to call it a Michelle Yeoh movie. They don't know who the fuck that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They see a bunch of people they don't know and then her. They're like, "Oh my God, Jamie Lee Curtis is so funny. She's probably the reason I like this."
It's a good performance. It's just she's barely in the movie.
It's a true supporting performance.
Right.
Is the thing.
She doesn't
like,
really do that much. I guess she does get like the Hot Dog Fingers universe. There is like some arc there.
It's mostly
to that.
Well, here's the thing: is that I think that she's great in the movie, but I think the way that she's deployed is better than her performance, if that makes sense. Which goes back to the direction, which we're going to get to. Like, it's all about like knowing what dial, like what speed do we want to tune Jamie Lee Curtis to, and she's able to match that speed. Yeah, but I think that's more about like how she's utilized in the film.
I could totally see her winning though.
I think so. Yeah,
but
no,
you're
100%.
You're right. Like there are a lot of reasons that she should not be the winner. I just feel like this would be the most Academy move ever. Would be to give the one white person in the whole movie the Oscar.
That would be. Man.
I think I'm going to go for it.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to do it. Yeah. I just think that this is the case of like a rising tide lifts all boats. And like in any other case, like this performance wouldn't even be nominated. But the fact that it is, and the fact
it almost
that
raises some flags of like,
it's like on one hand, you have the surge of everything ever, all the awards it's going to get. And then you also have the fact that like people just like Jamie Lee Curtis and they just want to give her awards like regardless of anything just because she's cool. So
it's just so
I
funny
smell
that
it.
she's
I smell
going
it
to win
coming.
and not Stephanie Sue, who might be like the best part of the movie.
Oh,
like Stephanie Sue, another star-making performance right here that she's giving, and then she's gonna lose.
Hey,
to
but
like
now
her.
she's Academy Award nominee, Stephanie Sue.
Good for her.
All right, next we have actor in a supporting role. I think this is also one of the biggest locks of the night. If Ki Kwan loses this, it would be the biggest upset.
Well, this would be
ever.
like at the beginning of the night, and if Ki Kwan loses this, get ready for
throw everything out.
It was just gonna be like, is Elvis going to win Best Picture tonight? Like, I don't. Anything is on the
I
table
don't know.
now.
As the resident Causeway head of the pod,
right? Hey, man,
listen, you kept being out here saying like, guys, you got to check out Causeway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to, so you guys have to check it out.
Shout out to Irish boys Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan, and Jewish boy Judd Hirsch. Love to see him.
It's still kind of rules that Judd Hirsch got honored here, even if Paul Dano kind of got robbed. I could take out Barry Keoghan and put Paul Dano there, but that's okay.
We could all take out Barry Keoghan. He's tiny.
He's just a small little guy.
All right. This next category, actress in a leading role. This has been one of the biggest roller coasters of the season. It's been kind of a coin toss.
Well, I think it's actually
season.
becoming kind of fully flipped the other way. I'm going against the odds here. And I think
what are the odds sitting at right now?
It's starting to heavily favor Michelle Yeoh. And the thing is that like
minus 180.
I love.
I wouldn't call that
everything.
heavily.
Well, it's definitely coming into this. Like Cate Blanchett was just like,
favorite,
she's going to be the Academy Award winner, and I can already see it's doing the thing where people are talking themselves out of the performance of that Cate Blanchett is doing. I'm wishing this into existence. If Tar wins nothing else tonight, Cate Blanchett has to win. Like this is truly like one of the best performances I've ever seen in anything ever. Lydia Tar is not a real person. I don't think that people realize that. I think people left and they're like, that was a really good biopic.
I've been emailing. Who have I been emailing then?
You've been talking to Lydia Tar?
Yeah.
I do follow Lydia Tar. She has a great Twitter presence.
Delete those fucking emails, Ernest. I keep telling you.
Well, did you see Lydia? She's actually looking for a new assistant. In the New York region, preferably like a woman like 18 to 24.
I've been sending her some references.
Okay, cool. You're scouting for Lydia Tar.
This one is so hard.
I'm going with my heart, and I love Michelle Yeoh. Like Michelle Yeoh is a legend, and her winning would be awesome. But like, this is going to be the one I feel like of all the Academy Awards that 10, 15 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, how the fuck did Cate Blanchett for Tar not win?
It's just,
now I'm talking myself out of that. Like for that reason, it's going to be Michelle Yeoh.
It's a coin toss. This is a straight up coin toss. Like you could go either way. So Michelle Yeoh won the SAG, which is, I think, a huge sign in terms of like the overlap in the voting body. And again, same rationale as Jamie Lee Curtis. I just think that the love for this movie is just going to sway in that direction. And I'm going Michelle Yeoh. Let's fucking go.
Is there any chance that Anna de Armas could pull this out for Blood?
Daddy? Plus 6,500.
60 to 1? Let's go, baby. Hop on those odds.
That's insane.
It's almost like she shouldn't be there and Blonde shouldn't receive any.
Hey, it's not as unlikely as Bill Nighy for Best Actor, which is plus 8,000.
Oh, I'm going Yeoh. I fully agree with you, Hunter. I think Blanchett should win.
I think I talked myself out of it by giving my whole speech there.
Yeoh is my second or third favorite lead actress performance of the year. The problem is Everything Everywhere has 3 really great acting performances. Jamie Lee Curtis is my 4th favorite in that movie, funnily enough. And it also, on top of that movie is an exhibition for editing and directing and, in score and everything. So it's hard. It's hard. She does stick out in a movie that it's hard to stick out in, but like Tar is Tar. Tar's about Tar and she's Tar. And
she is Tar.
Tar is Tar.
I can't believe I'm going to pick Michelle Yeoh, and I'm going to be.
That's bullshit. You already said.
No, I gave the whole speech and I talked myself out of it.
Shit.
I talked myself out of it because
shit.
It's the most Academy thing for it to happen is for. I put a sad face next to Cate Blanchett though on my ballot. If
that counts. That counts as a Chad.
It's a hanging Chad on my ballot. The thing is that like I put this out there into the world because I think that what Cate Blanchett and Tar is doing is so unbelievable, but also. Of course it's not going to be nominated by the Academy Awards. We do this every fucking year where they miss out on like the best performance or the best screenplay of the year. And then we look back and we're like, man, that was dumb, huh? Though they just completely whiffed on that one thing. Like, sure, this person who won is good, but come on. Michelle Yeoh also has the international voting body going for it, which the SAG does not.
So does Cate Blanchett. She's British.
Okay, yeah, you're right. No, but I think actually it was really huge for Michelle Yeoh to win the SAG because the SAG is an American voting body. Right. And if anything, Michelle Yeoh is only bringing in more international voters, more people who have seen her international features.
The biggest thing against Everything Everywhere in all these categories is the BAFTAs. It didn't win any BAFTAs. I think it won one. I think it won editing. Otherwise, it was completely shut out. And if there's a lot of overlap in the voting body there, then
throw out the BAFTA. I think the BAFTAs you can just throw out every year. Any love for Andrea Riseborough here? Just gonna To Leslie, a film that definitely exists.
I love Mark Maron. I'm happy for him.
Cool.
Okay, actor in a leading role. This is going to be a big moment for fans of music,
Mama,
for fans of culture.
For fans of Bill Nighy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. It's time
Mama,
for the king to
parentheses,
arrive.
Phoebe, why you got to be so cruel?
I did a handshake.
Paul Mescal.
I did a handshake bet with my brother. He wanted to bet me $20 that Austin Butler wins. He's going against the win. I was like, he's winning, baby.
Mama.
I'm going Austin Butler.
Did you see what was it? Was it at the PGAs where he was helping the women onto stage?
Sure.
It was at one of these Guild Award shows. He was like, there was like a bunch of like women who were getting on the stage, and he was sitting at like the front table, and he kept like helping them get up the steps. I was like, man,
do your thing, Austin.
He is playing this game. He knows what he is doing.
Pour one out for my guy Colin Farrell. I would have loved to have seen him win this thing.
The favorite, I think, it's flipped all over the place between Colin Farrell, not as much, but mostly Brendan and Austin Butler. I'm going with Mama.
There we go.
I didn't realize this until right now, but I am picking a ballot that would lead to me winning the fantasy film draft. So I'm really just putting this out in the ether that I'm going to win this.
The narcissism.
I know. Look at that. I'm gonna make you watch 80 for Brady one way or another, Drew.
I don't see the Brendan Fraser thing happening. A lot of people are really leaning into that. I'm seeing a lot of posting. It's just like, dude,
I just picked it.
Pick Brendan.
Come on, man.
I don't care. What is this? This is fucking. Have I ever won? No. Shut up.
Get off of your gold derby, then. Just start fucking penciling stuff in.
He has plus 105. Oh wait, no. Austin Butler has plus 105.
Yeah, bitch.
Brendan Fraser has minus 160.
Oh, maybe. Well,
interesting.
One of them is because I'm on FanDuel right now. On FanDuel, Brendan Fraser is minus 160. Austin Butler is plus 105. This is why you listeners at home, this is why you shop around books to get better odds. This is the thing that you do. You got to shop around. Theoretically, Ernie, you could put in $1,000 on Brendan Fraser. I could put in $1,000 on Austin Butler, and bam, one of them's going to win. And you will definitely come out winning until Paul Mescal wins in an upset.
And like
Bill Nye.
It ends with Hunter Venmoing you like $6.
Oh, okay. Director Daniels, our boys, our farting corpse, our erection compass, our hot dog fingers.
I fear that no one will ever realize that Steven Spielberg was a good director if he doesn't win this.
Is there any like deep outside chance of Spielberg winning this?
Oh, of course there is. There's always a chance. I just think that the Daniels have this locked in. They won DGA.
Yeah. DGA is always like outside of oh no, wait, no, because even Power of the Dog, that one DGA is
exactly.
DGAs are usually a good barometer of who's gonna win this. Because the directors vote for
our boys. Our epic bacon sauce boys.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what really sucks is like their follow-up to this is going to be disappointing to like the masses.
And the thing is that it has the potential to be better.
It probably will be.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
But it's not like it's not going to capture everyone.
I really want them. I want them to make like an animated film. Like I want them to just like direct. Like what if they make the Akira remake? Like let's just do it. Like let's just have them.
They're way sillier than Akira.
No, but I'm just saying like go like they are anime boys. Like let's just make a fucking anime then. Let's go.
The Daniels.
They would have to make like the One Punch Man movie.
No, that's okay. There we go. Could we get them to direct a season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Cannot get sucked into franchise shit. Please.
Oh, well,
that's all I'm asking.
They're actually making the Kang Dynasty.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. They're going to
make Quantum Mania 4.
Yeah. I'm so happy for them. If I could go back in time and tell the people, us, that we're watching
each other in 2014,
Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, watching Swiss Army Man.
That these guys are gonna win Best Picture. Like my brain would explode
the very next time that they make a movie.
Yeah, like that's it. Like within a decade from now, and their next movie, it's gonna be the Best Picture runaway favorite. You'd be like,
they're going to mop the floor with Steven Spielberg.
Like, oh, cool. So they must have like really like changed their like tune and gone like full biopic and like really like sunned out the edges. And it's like no, they actually somehow got like more weird and more wild.
I'm just looking at it and it's just like, it's still hard for me to believe. Like, do we live in a simulation? Like, it's fucking crazy.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is just winning Best
It's
Picture.
so
and just
crazy.
winning Best Director.
And yeah, the last category, Best Picture. It's Everything Everywhere. I mean, holy shit. I have it down for
upset pick.
I have it down for like 7 Oscars.
If there is, I just want to see if there is any crazy upset pick that happens here. Do we think that's Banshees or Fabelmans? I don't think that's either, but if there was to be one.
Of those two, I think probably Fabelmans, but I'm still over here on Top Gun Island. I really think that if anyone's going to take...
Ernie, let me tell you, if Top Gun wins Best Picture, I'm going to get fucking arrested tonight for just like that night of just screaming and running around your house.
I feel
exuberance.
I feel like at this point, if anyone is going to take Everything Everywhere, it's gonna be like Elvis or Top Gun, like those more, because the thing about the preferential ballot is it favors a lot of movies that get put in the middle of the ranking.
Avatar, bitch.
Avatar, yeah.
For that reason, I could see Elvis. I could really see Banshees being the benefactor of that. Where I don't know if a lot of people have Banshees at number 1, but I could see a lot of people have Banshees at like 3.
All Quiet is currently 3rd.
There's a chance that some people, because the thing is that Academy Award voters do have a little bit of Twitter brain to them where they're like, you know what? Fuck Everything Everywhere. I'm going to put it at last place just to like kind of fuck with things on their ballot. Even if that wasn't the worst movie that they saw this year, they just don't want that to win. There's a chance there could be like a million write-in votes for To Leslie.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Where's the Black Adam hive? Can we get them to come out?
I heard that Andrea Riseborough was going to win Best Picture.
Do you think so? Are we going to get the Flash Enters the Speed Force version from the Black Adam about the hierarchy of power changing forever?
Yeah, I want to see it in at least one of the montages.
Did I ever tell you this? Thank you for listening, listeners of the podcast. Did I tell you that on the way back from my flight back from Chicago, I watched the entirety of Black Adam on somebody watching a phone next to me? It was great. It was so good. It was the way that Black Adam was intended to be watched. And there was a woman probably in her 50s was watching Black Adam on her phone in front of her. And then a guy right in front of her was watching the film 21.
Nice.
The film 21, Kevin Spacey.
Probably a better movie than Black Adam.
I think definitively a better movie. Jim Sturgis, what he's doing in that thing. Case
Diddlin.
Okay. Yeah, well, the set probably was
Academy Award winner.
I could not believe what I was seeing on screen with Black Adam. I was this is like
it's like incomprehensible.
This is like a sci-fi film. Like this looks awful. Why does this look so bad? This movie had a budget.
Yeah, I just questioned a lot of things with that one. All right. Well, those are our Oscar picks.
I just learned a lot about how I feel very strongly about all of these picks. Now that I've made them.
We're
especially
excited.
whenever it comes to the Elephant Whispers and An Irish Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Those are my guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited about Everything Everywhere and all the good things that may come during the telecast, including Jimmy Kimmel dancing to Not To. So
yeah, I can't wait for what do we want to put the over under at of slap jokes? I'm going to say 3.5.
That might be low.
Do we think it's going to be
I'll probably
low?
take the over on that.
You take the over. I think that by the third one, they're going to be looking there's going to be more than 3 written pre-show, and there's going to be enough groans that by the third one, everybody's looking over at their writers and they're like, rewrite the acceptance speech. Rewrite it. We can't include this.
No more slap jokes.
No, we can't have the slap joke.
I've been to the movies recently.
Oh, yeah?
I saw Creed 3. Highly recommend. Great movie.
Jonathan Majors, a movie
Jonathan
star.
Majors is incredible in it. I will say, I think they maybe crammed in a little bit too many plot points. The story's a little bit shaky in terms of balancing a lot of the characters. Also, Stallone isn't in it, so I just kept asking, where's Rocky? Where's Rocky? But you're there for the fights. The fights are incredible. I was promised anime influence which didn't quite get to the extent that I was hoping for. You know, big RRR head over here, which is basically an anime movie.
It's an animated movie is what it is.
You do get a lot of like anime-esque visuals where like they'll throw a punch and it'll like zoom in on the fist hitting the body in slow motion. And
I've seen a couple, or like that one shot where it's like the like top, like the screen is like split in half, like anime style, like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
That might just be the trailer. I don't think that was in the movie.
Was that not actually in the movie?
No,
that's the Topher Grace edit.
No.
Oh, okay.
Jonathan Majors is absolutely incredible in this movie. I'm so excited for him to be a fucking movie star. He is so powerful.
Goldfish, anyone?
Standing out cold.
I'm good.
Do you have anything crunchier that I can chew on during the podcast?
The way he moves his body, the way he holds himself in front of the camera, his facial expressions, like everything he's doing, it's just
he should play
masterful.
Kang.
Right. Yeah. No, Kang.
Man, I bet he would have a dynasty. Listen, as someone who bought stock in Jonathan Majors Island 5 years ago, after seeing Last Black Man in San Francisco, I am reaping the rewards. I was out here. I stated on this podcast, like, buy stock. This man will be an Oscar winner in the next 10 years, and it's happening.
He's phenomenal in this movie. He's so good that I wish that the movie was fully centered on his character.
The way that I have seen the clips of him like fighting, and the way that he like kind of moves his body around is insane.
There's a scene where you think he is going to murder the guy that he's fighting in the ring. It's fucking nuts. He is not throwing punches the way you're supposed to.
He's just fully like actually punching people in the face.
That makes me happy to hear. I'm glad the movie is good. I'm glad Michael B is a good director. His acting has always been a little mechanical for me.
And you're not seeing that much change in this movie. I think the role of Adonis Creed, like, it kind of peaked in the first movie.
Well, and it also like it requires a lot of like pretty good like standard acting, and that's what he's really good at, is like a guy who's just he's feeling a lot and he's holding it down and he's like working really hard. Like it's when things get more complicated that as an actor I think he's limited.
I think, but that's not where, like, originally, like, I don't know, going back like 7 years, we all thought like he was going to be the next, like a Chadwick character. We thought that he was somebody who could elevate a role, and I think that he wasn't quite that. I think he's really good at picking parts. Like, for the most part, he's had a really good hit rate for early on in his career. And it turns out that he's a good actor if given a good script and good direction, which that's the way that like 99% of actors are, is that if you put the right script and the right direction in front of them, then they can do the thing. And he's good doing that.
And he's good at directing.
He is good.
He's hot.
I think
like to see a sweaty bod.
I think this is not one of those directorial debuts that's just like knock you out of the park. I didn't really get that from this movie, but it's competent and he does things that I'm not a big Rocky head. I haven't seen all the movies, but I'm confident that like the stuff he's doing in this movie is not things that are pulling from things that we've already seen in Rocky. Like, it feels like he's trying to do something different. You know, they introduced the daughter in Creed 2, so that's a big element of this movie. Tessa Thompson's in there. She gets plenty of things to do.
Is she deaf yet?
The kid?
No, Tessa.
No, but the kid is. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
She is getting more deaf, so that might play into a fourth. But yeah, I mean, you know, these movies, I felt the same thing about Creed 2, that it's just like, can't you guys just talk it out? Like, you don't gotta punch each other.
You've never watched like boxing. You're just like, you know? I don't get it. I don't know.
They just introduce these conflicts. It's like you get to a point in the movie where like, if it was any other movie, they would just have like a conversation. But because it's a boxing movie, they're like, all right, I guess now you have to punch each other to
and
the
it's
death.
also not interesting to say like what most boxing is, which is just like, I want to win $10 million. No, I want to win $10 million, which that's really why you're punching each other. It's not because of like blood feuds between US and Russia, like the old Rocky movies are.
Yeah. I know Creed 2 owes a lot to the Rocky franchise and just continuing like the Drago thing. Again, this movie doesn't have Creed or Rocky in it, but it advances the Creed story and it adds a lot of backstory to the character. Because the Jonathan Majors character is from his childhood. He's been in prison for like almost 2 decades and now he's out. And the way they deal with that, the way they handle that, I think is really, really fascinating. Again, I wanted to see that movie. There's a moment where like you see a shift in Major's character, and it's like it kind of happens off screen. And I was just like, man, why isn't he the main character of this story?
Yeah, Majors is a god.
Yeah. So
he was a god in like Defy Bloods.
Yeah. And he's like not even in that movie that much.
I know.
He's also going to be in an Oscar picture or like an
magazine,
Oscar contender magazine Dreams
yeah.
this year. Also it's just like a heavyweight like I like the thing where he's just like, I'm in my bulking phase,
I'm gonna all the body
I'm gonna
movies.
pick all the like he's picking his parts like
so smart,
so correctly.
He's gonna do the Machinist too once he starts cutting.
Yeah, just full tiny.
It's over for y'all.
I hope. Well, I'm not even that I hope, because I don't want to like wish cast anything upon his career, because I think that he actually taking the turn of being like movie star and doing Creed 3 and a Marvel movie within a month of each other wasn't necessarily where I thought his career was going to go. Watching Last Black Man in San Francisco, I was like, oh, he has a chance to be like this, like a really like nuanced character actor. And that could be his caveat. Now seeing it's like, oh, he can literally do anything. Yeah. He can do whatever he wants, which maybe that's going to be the thing that will make him the next great movie star, is because you never know what he's going to do.
I feel bad about the Kang thing.
But all accounts, nothing has ever been negative said about him. Everybody's like, Kang, Quantumania sucks.
Yeah, but
Jonathan Majors is great though. He's doing his thing.
If you watch him in Quantumania, it's like, okay, like
it's just
it's fine.
From what I've heard multiple sources say that like it just he comes across as someone who's really trying to do a lot with like with not a lot to work
with nothing,
and like, and that doesn't, if you don't really know who's to blame when you're watching a movie and you can't really tell why it's bad, you might zero in on him.
Yeah. But watching him in Creed 3, it's like, it's so different. You know, it's one of those, you can pinpoint the fact that like he's the real deal. Like
he's real as fuck.
Everything about him, how he talks, how he moves, his face, his demeanor, his vibe. He's embodying an entirely different person, which is what you want from an actor, you know, that's taking these kinds of parts. So absolutely loved him. The movie's great too. I have a lot of kind of quibbles with it. You know, it doesn't all click together, but it's definitely worth watching.
It's also, I'm glad that it's good enough that it's like the main narrative, the discourse I've seen around it is A, Majors rocks. B, Michael B is a pretty good director. Yeah. C, the Creed 1 propaganda is started back up.
Right.
The amount of clips getting shared on Twitter right now of Creed 1 where it's just like, hey, remember when this was the best scene of all time? And it still is. Like,
man,
that movie is just phenomenal.
That first fight scene where the camera is just floating all around, it's like, oh yeah, Coogler's a god. Like, Coogler can just
come back,
do whatever he wants.
Come back to Earth, Coog.
The training scene with the Meek Mill song with
and the
popping wheelies.
Oh my god, that shit's so cool,
dude. One thing that annoyed me, and I know it's like COVID and shit and whatever, I know there's reasons, but the first Creed was shot in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
This one takes place in LA, definitely not shot in LA.
Really?
Like, not at all. I don't think. Maybe a couple like establishing shots, but
what like Vancouver?
Fucking Atlanta, dude. Atlanta as fuck.
That's crazy. They could have just said it there.
Right. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is Scream 6. Much like I said, I'm not a big Rocky head. I'm also not a big Scream head.
I need to re-up on Goldfish for this one.
Have you seen all of the Screams?
No, I watched the first one and I watched the requel from last year, Scream 5.
Don't ever.
That's the term they use the term in the movie.
Well, because Scream is like, the whole thing with Scream is that it's referential. Scream and Scream 2 fucking rule. I have not seen any of the other Screams.
I haven't seen Scream 2, but it all got spoiled in this new one because they just reference back all the old movies. This one, not for me.
Oh,
not
okay.
My bag. All right. Not my bag. I don't know if it's because I'm not a Scream head. You know, maybe if I would have watched all the Screams, would have gone into this one and loved it. It's set in New York City. and they don't really make as much use of that as I would have liked. There is one great sequence set in the subway, which I thought was cool. But otherwise,
I saw that in the trailer.
Yeah, it's a good scene. Otherwise, I was like, not really my bag. I will say I am fully hopping on the Jenna Ortega bandwagon.
Oh, Jenna Ortega's
She
unbelievable.
She
She's
was
so
in
good.
she was in last year's Scream, but I guess it didn't register.
She's
for
also
me.
an X. She's awesome in X.
Yeah. She's awesome in this movie. Brings a lot of emotion and pathos. You really care about her and her journey in the story. So I just kind of I kind of just grabbed onto her character just to lead me through.
Well, I mean, Ernie, you should say what you really know her from, which is your favorite show of last year, Netflix's Wednesday.
Right. Yes.
Have you guys real quick thing? Did you guys see
That she like hates Wednesday.
Yeah, the interview that she did? It was on some podcast. Was it on Owen Wilson's podcast?
No, I think it was the
on?
Dax
Dax
Shepard.
Shepard.
Owen Wilson.
Not Dax Shepard, Owen Wilson, same person.
If Owen Wilson had a pod, dude.
Remember, you know, Dax Shepard is playing okay.
Bob
Ross. Don't even worry about it. No, yeah, Jenna Ortega just being like, no, Wednesday was so
rewrite my
bad that I had
scenes.
to rewrite all my scenes, which is just so funny because of everybody's just like, Wednesday's so important. Wednesdays bring emo back.
It
And
was
Jenna
a
Ortega
very
is just
popular
like,
show.
this show sucks. It's a bad show.
She's great in the movie. I saw with Adam, friend of the pod, who's a big Scream head. He liked it. I don't know if I would have liked it if I would have seen the Scream movies, which this seems to be.
Did you like the
referencing
the
all of
requel?
them. I watched it at home.
You've only seen the last two?
I saw the first one, like the OG,
The original
and
Scream
then-
is like fucking rules.
and then the new one from last year. I didn't see 2, 3, and 4. Which is how you should experience media. You know, you skip around.
1, 5. This is like you watching
The Crown.
Watching The Crown.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah,
jumping
it's
around.
my favorite thing to do. So I just, I went into this one with kind of an open mind, like, all right, it's a new cast, it's a new story, but it just was really tied to those old movies, which I guess is what Scream fans want. I don't fucking know.
You don't want a love letter to your own franchise.
Yeah, it
That's
seems
not-
like maybe if they do a next movie, depending on how successful this one is, they should probably try to just do something new without like hearkening back to all the old ones. But maybe that's what the big Scream, the diehards want.
I mean,
I don't
that's
know.
kind of what. Well, Scream is just. It's funny that we're on like so many Scream 6 and everything because. The original Scream, the genius about it is that it's Wes Craven, horror genius, making a movie about how like the horror genre is eating its own tail.
Right.
And now you have a genre, a franchise of films that is about the
itself.
original film
Yeah.
eating its own tail while also referencing back to horror as a whole. It ends up in this like weird vicious cycle of parody.
Not a lot of meat on the
and-
bone.
Yeah, it's really sucking marrow out at this point. And I think that's kind of why Wes Craven just completely dropped out of it at a certain point. It was like, I kind of just want to go back and make like New Nightmare and make like an earnest horror film.
Makes Knock at the Cabin look better.
Wow.
So
Damn. So that's
where I'm
tough.
at with 2023 so far.
Can I talk about Cocaine Bear really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Don't do it. You're thinking.
I heard
You're
that it was
thinking. Oh,
Epic
it'll be
Sauce.
fun. We'll have a fun night and go watch Cocaine Bear. Don't watch it. It sucks. We can't reward movies like this. Because I think we're about to get a million of movies like this.
Oh God.
I think we genuinely are. The falsely generated camp horror.
Mhm.
I think that's going to be the new big thing. It sucks. This movie sucks dick. It fumbles the easiest bag of all time. What really happened that this movie is like extremely lightly based on is an insane story that happened in the 80s, which is true. There was a guy smuggling a bunch of drugs over the Appalachians, over like Georgia, Tennessee, all that. And he needed to drop weight because his plane was going down. So he dropped a bunch of cocaine out of his plane. He then jumped out of his plane and his parachute didn't deploy. So he just landed in some old guy's driveway in like Georgia. That's crazy. That's so cool. That you could make a movie about that if you really wanted to, Elizabeth Banks. And that's not what the movie's about. The movie decides, and that's fair enough. You know, you could be like, okay, but what if, because also what really happened is a bear
ingested a brick.
Ate cocaine and died.
Which is really sad.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch a movie about that.
So, notwithstanding what this screenwriter decided to do is go, yeah, but what if like it was like kooky?
It was freaking epic.
The script is so all over the place. It's so stupid. This is a really short movie. Tell me why it is like a big ensemble piece. The movie Cocaine Bear doesn't have a main character. Why? Why not?
A lot of people need to get paid.
It's so stupid.
Well, I mean, the bear is kind of the main character of the story, really, in some ways.
But, the bear looks like shit, first of all.
Yeah.
It looks
bad.
It looks
every
so
screenshot I've
ugly.
seen.
It really is. Tonally, it is fucking all over the place. And really, more importantly than anything, it's not funny. The movie has to be funny.
That's so tough.
It has to be funny.
I
Tough beat
just
for
have
Elizabeth
visions
Banks.
of people going to the theater so amped and then just sitting there like silent.
There are people in my screening that it did work for.
Okay.
But it's the type of movie that for example, like I couldn't imagine like being a critic and liking this, because you're watching it just being like, this is a train wreck. Like
Right.
directorially, I mean, isn't the only other thing Elizabeth Banks has done like the Charlie's Angels reboot?
I think maybe a Pitch Perfect sequel.
Yeah,
A
she
sequ-
did.
So she like
Either 2 or 3.
So Elizabeth Banks, unfortunately, I like her as an actress. She has a lot of good connections. I think she is demonstrably really bad at directing movies.
Yeah.
I think she is friends with Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah,
And I think that she's very game and like great in a room.
No, well,
Right.
don't forget, she did direct movie 43 as well.
Probably one of the shorts in that movie. Speaking of, the movie opens with a Wet Hot reference. I was ready to love
Okay.
it. It opens with the song Jane, 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 with the guy from The Americans dumping a bunch of coke out of a plane. I was like, this rules, this rocks. And then we get introduced to some characters, and it's like, okay, this isn't super great. And then you get introduced to some more characters, and you're like, okay, that's kind of getting bloated here. And then some more, and then some more, and then some more. You meet so many fucking people. There's one plotline involving Ray Liotta, his son, Alden Aaron.
Oh man, R.I.P. Ray Liotta, his final acting performance in Cocaine Bear.
I told Ernest this. The hardest I've laughed in a long time in a theater was when the movie ends and it's just absolute dog shit ending, and it says "in loving memory of Ray Liotta."
It's so fucked,
Oh no!
dude.
At the end of Cocaine Bear.
It's so fucked.
Oh man,
One of our great
It's
actors.
tough.
So
That's
funny.
tough.
His son is Alden Ehrenreich. His son's friend is fucking Ice Cube's son.
Oh, nice.
They have a whole deal. Isaiah Whitlock Jr. is, I think, probably the only good performance in the whole movie. Consistently good guy. Speaking of Defy Bloods, shit, that guy. He rocks. He's funny. His lines suck. And then you have, what's her name? The girl from The Americans.
Yeah, Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell being a mom to like a quirky kid, and her kid and her friend are fucking off, running into the woods, and they have Cocaine Bear. And then I could not list to you the amount of characters in this fucking movie.
It just
and it is like,
keeps
I am looking at
it is
this
like
plot.
90 minutes long.
There's too many people in this. Like Margot Martindale's in here. Brooklyn Prince is in here.
She's the other performance where I'd be like, well, she's great, but like, oh my God. It's such a
Why?
Tough.
You never want a bloated 95-minute long film.
Yeah,
No.
that's
and
a tough beat.
It looks like shit. It's poorly directed. The action is poorly directed, and more important, there's one well-directed action scene, I'll say. But more importantly than that, the comedy is, the directing takes away from jokes. It ruins jokes sometimes. That's just bad.
Tough.
That's piss
Can't
poor
have that.
directing. It's upsetting. There's like the classic vestigial appendage of like a poorly directed movie, which is a flashback to something that happened, like plot wise happened right before the scene that you're watching. So it's like, why are you making it a flashback? You could have just showed that and then showed the next thing.
Like an RRR. The same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, that's a flaw in RRR.
Yeah.
Is like there's like a weird flashback to something that just happened
For like a split second.
because you can show something faster if it's a flashback. But that happens in this movie, and it's like in the same location even as where they're at now.
Oh no.
And it's them just seeing a dead body like 30 seconds ago. It is so bad, man. It really upset me. There, you know, if you're judging every joke individually, there are jokes that work, obviously. Alden Ehrenreich is trying. I enjoyed his efforts, but like really not funny, man.
Are you here for the Alden Ehrenreich reclamation project?
I hope he gets more work. Solo is not his fault.
I enjoyed his role in this because he's playing like a just like mega down on his luck, like fucked up, like sickly looking man. And I thought that was
on
fun.
cocaine.
I thought it was fun that he would do that.
I mean, between this, he was in a movie, movie called Fair Play that was like an award circuit movie this year that was really good, and he's in Oppenheimer this year. So he needed a few years to like sit in the tank, sit back a little bit after Solo. It also like, hey buddy, maybe you aren't Harrison Ford. Sorry, this isn't your fault.
I know
but I'm sorry.
that's not his fault. He got fucked by being cast in that.
Yeah,
it was a no-win situation.
The final and maybe biggest flaw of this movie is that it trusts these two kids to really deliver some lines in a movie that's just full of actors. You could just make it about the actors,
right?
They're really, as particularly this little boy who just sucks. They're giving him lines. they're like monologue, go.
Relying on this poor
trash.
Kid.
Listen, I'm happy that Brooklyn Prince from
Florida Project
was in there.
I know that. Yeah, it's really cool, and she's not bad at all. But for some reason, this little boy, they're just like, God, this kid is so fucking funny. Let's leave it running on him. It's digital. We don't have to, you know. It's
don't cut anything.
Yeah, I'm sure they all had a blast shooting it, and I hope that I'm dead by next year.
All right,
man, that's tough. That's a tough beat for Cocaine Bear.
We could wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening.
It's making money.
Please rate, review, subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know your thoughts on our predictions to the 95th Academy Awards. Stay tuned for more Robin Williams, Insomnia, and little bit more new movies. John Wick, Chapter 4, Shazam 2, Mario.
Should we see Shazam 2?
I'm going to the press screening. I'll let you guys know how bad it is.
I guess I'll go. Jesus Christ, it's next.
Yeah, that's it.
Bye.
Bye.